the ongoing series of leadership and team development, today we will be talking on more issues pertaining to team building and team effectiveness, out of which we will talk about more on emotionally intelligent teams and effective teams. So let me start with the concept of what is the concept of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize our feelings and those of others, motivate ourselves and manage the emotions well in ourselves and in our interpersonal relationships. Now, to we talk about further, the first and the foremost thing relating to the emotional intelligence is the self-awareness. That is, recognizing the internal feelings. Recognize how someone is feeling without them having to say anything. Using your own gut feelings to guide decisions. So this is what is called as self-awareness. The second foremost feature of emotional intelligence is managing emotions. Finding ways to handle emotions that are appropriate to the situation. The third is motivation. Using a self-control to channel the emotions towards the goals is called as a motivation and is the essential feature of emotional intelligence. The next is your empathy, that is, understanding the emotional perspective of the other people. That means you stand view in the point of others and listen to it without even they saying it. The next is your handling relationships. Using the personal information and the information about others to handle the social relationships and to develop the interpersonal skills. So to be precise, following are the characteristics of the emotional intelligent people. The first is knowing one's feelings. That is, an emotional intelligent person is one who knows very well about your own feelings. Then you are able to manage the emotions and the feelings appropriately. You are able to motivate your own self. That is, there is some unforeseen force which will push you towards the achievement of a particular goal. Then is the ability to persist in face of a frustration, ability to control the impulses and delay gratification, ability to empathize with others, capacity to hope, and the social competencies. If the following features are present in an individual, so that person is called as an emotional intelligent person. That is, he has a competent to know one's own self, to know one's own feelings, know how to control the frustration levels, if any. And of course, there has to be something which is under control, that is the delay gratification and impulses. So an individual who is having the emotional intelligence is able to control those impulses, social negative forces, and the delay of gratification. Then is the ability to empathize with others. That is capacity to hope and the social competencies. So there are three capacities of the emotional intelligence. That is, the first is the self-reflection. The next is your self-regulation. The third is your empathy. So these form the foundations for all the competencies and the skills. They provide the ability to us to adjust to the change, maintain our commitment to people, help us find the satisfaction in relationships, and create the balance in our emotional lives. So before moving on to the more insights of emotional intelligence, first let us understand what are emotions. Happiness, fear, anger, affection, shame, disgust, surprise, lust, sadness, elation, love, frustration, anxiety, failure, achievement, etc. The above are the emotions which are directly affecting our day-to-day life. There are two dimensions of emotions. Psychological side. Emotion is a complex state of human mind involving bodily changes of widespread character such as breathing, pounding, heart, flushed face, sweating palms, pulse rate, gland secretions, psychological side, a state of excitement or a perturbation marked by a strong feeling. Now let me tell you about emotions and their various blends. Like for example, we talk about anger. So anger can be substituted by fury, outrage, resentment, annoyance, hostility. Whereas love is the other name of acceptance, friendliness, trust, kindness and infatuation. Shame can be replaced by guilt, remorse, humiliation and regret. Similarly, fear can also be called as anxiety, nervousness, apprehension and terror. Enjoyment can also be called as happiness, joy, relief, contentment and pleasure. Sadness can be replaced by grief, sorrow, cheerfulness and gloom. Cheerfulness on the other pretext is the opposite of sadness, and when you talk about sadness, it is the cheerfulness. And in case of surprise, we can have shock, astonishment, amazement, wonder. So similarly, there are the few examples in which we use the emotions, like she is too sensitive, he takes everything too personally, he is jealous of his colleagues, my boss is always in a hostile mood, she does not understand the feeling of others. So to have a complete catch the characteristic features of emotional intelligence, it was a must to understand what the emotions are and few illustrations which are the exact examples of the use of emotions, like sensitivity, taking everything personally, having a feeling of jealousy, hostility, understanding, etc. Like there are few more examples which I would like to quote to further understand the meaning of use of emotions. He is always nagging others. The head of the department blurts the things out without thinking of others. Nobody understands and listens to me. The management is a way out of touch with employees' emotions. Why doesn't it happen with me only in life? Why others are not a victim to it? So these kind of sentences are the fine examples of use of emotions in the corporate organizations. I'm always nice with the people around me. The above statements refer to the various emotions we experience in our day-to-day life, be it our routine life and be it a corporate life. So the emotionally intelligent teams, yes, this is the topic which we are taking it further. Emotionally intelligent team members, or what I like to call it as a social hand grenades, are one of the few things that hold a team back. These are the people you would invite to a party if you wanted to finish quickly. While decades of the study has identified emotionally intelligence as a key factor that separates the exceptional achievers from everyone else, so the emotional intelligence is also very crucial for the team effectiveness. According to one study, teams with a higher average emotional intelligence have a higher team functioning than the groups with a lower emotional intelligence. That is, if you are able to handle your own emotions, you are able to have the self-awareness of your own emotions, you are able to control it, you are able to handle it, then of course that kind of a team is an achiever and they can achieve much better than the persons who are not able to control their emotional intelligence. So there are so many empirical studies to this effect that the teams which have a higher level of emotional intelligence are able to perform better in their performance levels, in their motivation levels, and the profitability of that organization is going to move up, because you are not turned up, you are not moved up, you are not taken away by the emotional imbalances. So we need to incorporate the emotional intelligence as far as the core functioning of the organization is concerned. The ability to interpret one another emotional responses explained 40% of the variance in the team performance. And according to one study, individual contributors can no longer complete the work that requires a complete centerpiece, that is a team, to bring everything together. So working as a team, on the other hand, is not an easy job. That is, we talked about in the previous lectures about what a group is and what a team is. So when the group is maturing in terms of, incorporating everyone into mainframe, taking care about everyone's emotions, having a connectivity with them as far as their inside and outside working is concerned, that means the group is going to grow into a team. And of course, working as a team is a very difficult task. You need to mature from all perspectives, especially from the emotional perspective. Now, despite the wide range of the experiences and the perspectives that naturally exist within a group of people, the groups are not the same as the teams. And it remains very, very difficult for the leaders to manage, to motivate, and challenge their employees in the ways that foster the reciprocal collaboration. Relationships are at the heart of every team, and they either make it great or they contribute to its death. So that's very, very important to understand. So now I would be talking about some signs that your staff is emotionally intelligent. Here the role of a leader is also very, very important. And there are some important characteristic features of an intelligent, emotional, intelligent teams that we will be taking care of right now. While creating successful team isn't as simple as mimicking the process of emotional, intelligent group of people. What you can do is to create the necessary conditions in which the team members can develop their emotional intelligence. And those three conditions are what? They are the trust among the members, a sense of group identity, and a sense of group efficacy. Primarily, when you talk about the emotional intelligence team, these three features are primarily very, very important to consider, and owing to which we are able to create the emotionally intelligent teams. You need to develop the trust amongst the members, a sense of group identity that yes, I belong to this particular group. I can die for this group. I can grow with the group. Everything what is group doing, I am with it, for it. And of course, whatever decisions are taken in that particular group, I abide by that. So you have a very strong identification with that kind of a group. And of course, a sense of group efficacy. These are the main features for a team to be developed as a team, not as a group. So the first and the foremost sign that your staff is emotionally intelligent is you need to choose a leadership or a kingship. Before you can kickstart and boosting the emotional intelligence of your team members, you must first improve your own emotional intelligence by cultivating the self-awareness. Yes, the leaders are not only aware of themselves but also of their emotions, and that's very, very important. There are so many evidences, studies to this effect that if you are unable to control your emotional intelligence, your downfall is for sure. So the first and the foremost thing a leader should do is about the self-awareness of not only your own self but of your emotions. The second is your emotional management. The leaders are able to keep their cool under the pressure. The effective communication. The leaders are able to communicate their ideas very, very clearly. And the leaders with the social awareness can notice what's going on and provide the useful inputs. The leaders who can effectively resolve the disagreements and give a solution are known as conflict resolution experts. And the leaders should be valued by their team members. In addition to these emotional intelligence features, this can be accomplished by focusing on the following 5 characteristic respected corporate leaders. The leaders treat everyone with a common courtesy by acting nice and respectful. Demonstrate an openness to the change. That is, the leaders learn from their mistakes and the failures in order to improve. The leaders don't just listen, they also inquire about their employees' concern and, of course, solicit the input. Avoid making excuses, and the leaders must accept responsibility for their own errors and, of course, help others. The leaders are always eager to provide a hand to those who require assistance. Remember, if you want your team to become more emotionally intelligent, you must first concentrate on improving your own emotional intelligence and developing into a leader who your team can respect and rally around. And for this particular reason, you need to understand about the various paradigms, that is your self-awareness, your emotional management, your effective communication, the leaders with the social awareness, and of course, you need to demonstrate an environment of openness, and you actually have to solicit the various concerns which your employees have. Avoid making excuses, and you need to be a helping hand for all those who actually need them. The second feature is your determine the strengths and the weaknesses of your team members. Employees or the job titles aren't all that your team members are. They are the one-of-a-kind folks with fascinating tales to tell. Your staff also have a wide range of abilities, talents, and the information that can really help you achieve your overall objectives. You need to start by getting to know each team member better, and if you want to get the best out of them, you should discover more about them outside a project, if possible, so you can understand that they can do beyond their usual work role or title. According to Druscat and Wolf, HP, that is the Havel package, encourages all of its employees to participate in cross-training. This really implies that the team members consider if each member could pinch hit on everyone else's task. This is a real wonderful type of a particular training which is called as a cross training, which is going to develop the emotional intelligence of the people. That is, you could pinch hit on everyone else's task. That is, you need to say something about the other person's task. So you should also go beyond the first impression, foster the innovation, delegate the instruction to your team members, and provide the rewards and the recognition. When a team member makes a mistake, provide a constructive criticism so that the leader may demonstrate that the person is more important than the process of being disciplined. So this kind of a feeling is very important, and this can only be generated by the good leaders, which can foster, increase, elevate, control the emotional intelligence of an individual. Like for example, if a team member takes the initiative of taking a constructive criticism, he should not have this thing in mind that he will be fired. He should have this kind of a feeling that, being into a process and giving a concept of criticism which is very constructed, demonstrating such kind of dissents are very important for an organization to grow, and his particular initiation of this kind will actually be, appreciated, and rather than he should not be dismissed, or he should not be, into this kind of a feeling that a disciplinary action will be taken against him. So when this scenario exists, yes, this is a very emotionally intelligent team and the emotionally intelligent leader who can steer this kind of an activity and this kind of a scenario. The third and the foremost important point for the intelligent team, which is having the emotional intellect and emotional intelligence, is all about build the team norms. As Dukost and Wolf state in Building the Emotional Intelligence of the Group, the group emotional intelligence is about the small acts that make a big difference. So it is not about a team member working all night to meet a deadline. It is about saying thank you for doing it. So you need to be very compassionate about all the people who are taking initiative and they are making a big difference because of their small acts, because of their contribution, because of their, respecting the time, adhering to the time limits, adhering to the deadlines. So it is very important to say such people a big thank you. So it is actually going to make a substantial difference, and the group is going to grow emotionally intelligent because their inner feelings are respected. Their contribution is adhered to. Their contribution is also recognized. So recognition of such efforts are going to make the teams more emotionally intelligent. They will be very, very happy inside and actually contribute maximum in this extent. The next is, it is not about an in-depth discussion of the ideas. It is about asking a quiet member for his thoughts. It is not about harmony, the lack of tension, and all the members liking each other. It is about acknowledging when harmony is false. The tension is unexpressed and treating otherwise and others with respect. So these are the golden words which are very important to be in action. That is, we need to respect each and every member's ideas, give them an open dais wherein they can come up freely with their ideas. And of course, the members will start liking each other. There will not be any kind of a tension. And it is all about acknowledging their efforts and about, any kind of a tension should be swayed away, and you need to respect each and every member with compassion, with love, etc. So remember, when you do establish the rules, make sure that they connect to your value system. And when these guidelines support both your business and the team members' belief, they will be more inclined to jump to the support and back these rules. And of course, they will not see the deadlines, they will not see the time, they will 100% be dedicated to achieve those particular, emotions and those particular production levels, those particular performance levels. So the emotional intelligent teams are able to contribute substantially to 360-degree development of the organization. Now coming on to the fourth point, that is curiosity. Curiosity is used to strengthen the relationships. The curiosity is employed by emotionally intelligent teams to keep their talks focused, obtain the knowledge, and they need to make decisions and comprehend each other's views. So they understand that way in leads to buy in. Therefore, they employ inquiry to identify the best solution. The next and the most important point is their surroundings are mentally secure. Psychologically, safety is very important. Psychological safety is all about the assumption that you will not be punished if you make a mistake. That is acceptable to express yourself and challenge the status quo. There are so many incidences which take place in an organization, owing to which unknowingly you take a bad decision, or probably you do a particular mistake which was, unknowingly done. So if you live in an environment which gives you a protection, which gives you an appreciation, which even accepts your mistakes, that is, yes, required to grow as a emotional intelligent teams. So as a matter of fact, the leaders of such groups should give a kind of an acceptable environment even for mistakes, that even if the mistake happens, you will not be fired, you will be hugged, in fact, and your value system, your decision making, the premises and the basis on which you took the decisions will always be welcome. The calculations can go wrong, but your efforts should be genuine. You should be able to express yourself, and the team should provide you with such an environment, such an acceptable environment that even the mistakes are acceptable. Yes, you are going to grow your surroundings and you feel as a team member that you are mentally secure. The next most important is their surroundings are mentally secure, to further elaborate the same concept. Because the more you question and study, the more aware you become. Psychological safety has a snowball effect for developing the emotional intelligence, and this is the kind of a teamwork that leads to a massive discovery for a firm, not to mention the kind of a trust that distinguishes the great teams. Now, one end of the spectrum, the smart team focuses on the goal achievement, while on the other, they prioritize on the good connections. They understand that completing the team goal necessitates the healthy relationships, as well as the fact that the results are results which they must be produced. So definitely the team members, the emotional intelligent team members, they must understand how to strike a balance between the connections and the particular task. That is the results what they're going to achieve and the completion of the goal necessities which are very important for the relationships. That is, they should have this kind of a feeling that they have to achieve the results on the one hand. Number two, it is actually going to foster the relationship is another. So, completing your targets, fostering the relationship and the task, they should be able to strike a balance between them. So the emotional intelligent teams must strike a balance between the connections and the task.